Hi, this is Harry Hamblin. Before we start this game, I'd just like to go through the 3 simple stages of digestion, and the first one is digestion itself, which is the process of breaking down larger chunks into smaller ones so that we can digest them. And then the second one is absorption, which is the uptake of nutrients from food recently digested. And then the final one is excretion, which is simply the removal of waste products. Also, there are 2 types of digestion, mechanical and chemical. Mechanical begins in the mouth as the food is chewed and involves physically breaking down the food into smaller pieces. Chemical digestion begins in the mouth when the food mixes with saliva. The saliva contains an enzyme called amylase, and this then begins to break down the carbohydrates. So, onto the game. The rectum. So, the rectum is the last straight section of the large intestine before reaching the anus. The rectum provides temporary storage for feces before they are expelled out through the anus. As the rectal walls expand due to the collecting feces, stretch receptors in the rectal wall stimulate the desire to defecate, and then a peristaltic wave then pushes the feces out of the rectum, which is like a wave-like movement which squeezes the feces out through the anus. So if we just label that onto the anus, and the anus controls the expulsion of feces, and the flow of feces through the anus is controlled by the anal sphincter muscle. The internal and external sphincter muscles relax, allowing the feces to be passed by muscles and pulling the anus up over the exiting feces. The duodenum. The duodenum is the first and shortest segment of the small intestine. It receives partially digested food from the stomach and plays a vital role in the chemical digestion of chyme in preparation for absorption in the small intestine. The pancreas. The pancreas is part of the digestive system which produces important enzymes and hormones which help to break down foods. It also has an endocrine function because it releases juices directly into the bloodstream, and it has an exocrine function because it releases juices into the ducts. The liver. The liver has multiple functions, but its main function within the digestive system is to process nutrients absorbed from the small intestine. Bile from the liver secreted into the small intestine also plays an important role in digesting fat. The mouth. The mouth is the start of the digestive system, and in fact digestion starts here, as already stated, when taking the first bite of food. Chewing breaks the food into smaller pieces which are easier to digest, and then saliva mixes with it to begin the process of digestion. The stomach. The stomach is like a large mixing bowl. The churning action of the stomach muscles physically break down the food. The stomach releases acid and enzymes for the chemical breakdown of food. Then the enzyme pepsin is responsible for protein breakdown. The gallbladder. The gallbladder is pear-shaped. It is also a hollow structure located underneath the liver and on the right side of the abdomen. Its primary function is to store concentrated bile, which is a yellow-brown digestive enzyme produced by the liver. The large intestine. The large intestine has a main role of absorbing water from the remaining indigestible food matter and then transmit the useless waste material from the upper body out through the rectum and anus. The esophagus is here, and the esophagus is a long, thin, muscular tube which connects the throat to the stomach. It forms an important piece of the gastrointestinal tract and functions as the conduit for food and liquids that have been swallowed into the pharynx to reach the stomach. The small intestine. The Small intestine is the part of the digestive system where approximately 90% of the digestion and absorption of food occurs. The other 10% taking place in the stomach and large intestine. The main function of the small intestine is to absorb the nutrients and minerals. So, on that game. Thank you.